Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. And I think we can start now. So before we start, a disclaimer like always. Any stock or company that we will be discussing here will not be an investment advice from me or anybody else who is answering them or asking the question. So please do your own due diligence before putting your own money. Yeah, thank you. So last week we discussed about the breakouts. This week, we are discussing how to scan for stocks that have momentum. This one. See, what is common in these charts? We have a strong momentum, strong directional price movement, and there's a pause. After the pause, the stock starts to move again. So in momentum trading, what we are essentially trying to do is capture those short swings, which are built on the foundation of a prior strong upward movement, backed by strong high institutional quality volume. Stock that waits for a pause, the pause can be for a few days or a couple of weeks, and then it blasts again. So the next time when it blasts again, that price movement is something that we intend to capture through momentum trading. So this presentation is based on this idea to capture those short-term swing trades and how to scan them using the dashboard.
So is
Okay.
it daily time frame or a weekly time frame?
This is daily time frame. All the charts that I will be sharing today will be on daily time frame only.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right. So like in all these charts, there's a strong prior momentum, upward directional movement. The volume is not shown here, but in each of these, there's high institutional volume also. There's a pause. This dotted line that you can see is 10 EMA. There's a pause around 10 EMA. The pause can be around 20 EMA also. But the best of the pauses, they come towards 10 and 20 EMA. There's a pause and then the move starts again. Uh, you all know this guy, Kuala Maggie is pretty famous. Twitter, somebody who's an expert in trading momentum stocks. So he says that that he trades these simple patterns, and these patterns keep on repeating again and again. In fact, the entire foundation built by Minervini or Zanger or Stockby, Pradeep Bonde, it is based on the prior momentum. Then the stock pauses and then it moves again. Minervini trades slightly longer pattern also, which we also have as VCP in our dashboard. But the pattern that he likes to trade are based on the stock advances that the big stock advances in the prior 1 or 3 months, which can last anywhere between few days to weeks. Then he looks for consolidation and orderly pullback, making higher highs, higher lows, and tightening ranges over last 2 weeks, which can go 2 months. If a consolidation goes over 2 months, it will definitely come back to 50 EMA also. The price serves the rising 10-day and 20-day moving averages, sometimes touches 50-day moving average also. And then he trades the expansion out of those consolidation pattern. You can read his blog over here. The link is over here. I will share the presentation. You should read these blogs if you really want to understand how this guy trades strong swing trading momentum patterns. So how do we identify these momentum? So there's a basic momentum, a stock that is just simply going up. We add the qualities of a strong momentum to it, so that we not just find the basic momentum, but a strong accelerating movement in that particular stock. Once we find that, then we look for a pause. The stock must come and pause for a moment. It can come to 10 EMA, it can come to 20 EMA, or it can make tight ranges in the last few days. And then we trade it when it starts to break out of that consolidation range. So the basic momentum can be, simply scanned using 10 EMA over rising 20 EMA. Price is greater than 20 EMA and the 50 EMA is also rising. So all the three EMAs are in sync and rising together. That will be simply a we can simply call it as a basic momentum in a stock, basic upwards momentum. When we say strong momentum, what we also look is that price should be at least 10% above the rising 50 EMA, right? Then Kuala Maggie, he looks for stocks that are more than 25-30% higher in last 1 month, or if he's using a 3 month time frame, then it can be over let's say 70-80%. And he also looks for 6 months time frame also, where he says the stock can be much more than basics 50-60-70%. It can be, let's say, 100-150% over uh, price increase in the last 6 months. So, so what we have initially done in this presentation is that we are saying that the price should have at least moved up by at least 20%. You can change it, you can increase it to 20 to 25, 30%, whatever, right? But the basic minimum change in the price over the last 1 month period should be 20%, or the 3 week high-low range should be more than 30%. It should be backed by high volume. So we are saying that in the last 21 days, including the pause, should be the up-down volume ratio should be more than 3 times, 3x. Now, we are not just looking for absolute momentum. We want a stock to come in our watch list when it has relative momentum also. When we say the word relative, we are essentially comparing a particular stock with the other listed stocks also. So the relative momentum should also be present in addition to the absolute price momentum. So for that, we can keep a relative strength of at least 90 over 1 month period. So the monthly RS should be more than 90. So these two steps will give us the stocks that are in strong momentum. Next step would be to find a stock that comes back a little, or comes towards 10 EMA, 20 EMA, or waits for a little pause. So the stock should be meeting either of the following two conditions. It should not be more than 3% away from 10 EMA. We can keep it 4% also, 5% also, depending on how you want the chart to look at. The closer to 10 EMA, the better it is. Sometimes it can even go below 10 EMA and come to 20 EMA also. I will tell you how to, put those conditions in the dashboard. Or the 3-day high-low range should be tight. Let's say, 3%. It can be an inside bar. It can be making a mini coil also. So that kind of a pause should be there before the breakout actually happens. Let's come to an example. These are all recent examples which happened this month. GPIL, the stock moved up 35% in less than a month. It takes a breather at 10 EMA, had strong relative strength. Sorry, the strong relative strength on 1 month time frame. The 3 month RS was also above 90. Now, when the stock makes a pause, the weekly RS will always be less. So make sure that when you are using the filters and dashboard, you do not choose 90 in the weekly RS. The weekly RS will always be low because the stock has not performed in the last 1 week, right? So always look for monthly or 3 monthly RS more than 90. It serves the 10 EMA. This is 10 EMA. This is 20 EMA. You all know this is 50 EMA, which is green, trending up. So the stock takes a move again and gives a breakout. Netweb, the stocks moves 50% in less than a month. It's had a strong 1 month RS of 98, 3 month RS of 99, takes a breather again at 10 EMA, and then starts to move again. Here, the up-down volume ratio was more than 4.5 times. In the previous one, it was more than 5x. Weeks ago, stock moves up 40% in a month, takes a breather at 10 EMA, up-down volume ratio of more than 7x, had a 1 month relative strength of 99, 3 month RS of 95, and then it starts to move again. Stallion, it moves up 100% in less than 2 months, makes a move of 30% within a month, takes a pause. Here, the up-down volume ratio was 2.5x only. It's less than 3x, but I just wanted to put it to, to tell you that sometimes the volume, sometimes, small filters like up-down volume ratio of 2.5 or 3, we might miss some stocks if we are too stringent that the up-down volume ratio should be exact 3x or not, or it should not be more than 2.5x. The stock had a good move here in the previous 2 months also, over 2 months. So some relaxation when you go back and check the 3 month price movement, maybe you can relax some of the conditions. So again, it rests as 10 EMA and then breaks out again. Yeah. So a few examples, these are a few examples that I wanted to show you. Now, there are specific filters that we have in our dashboard for you to scan these stocks. We have, for the basic momentum, you can simply use 10 EMA over 20 EMA on rising 20 EMA, rising 50 EMA. When we look for strong momentum, you look for stocks that are at least 10% away from 50 EMA. Over here, you can choose that. Then away from 20 EMA, if you want the stocks to be very close to 20 EMA, you can put a number here and here. Again, away from 20 EMA is important because you want to look for when you're looking for a pause, you want the stock to come here. But this is the third step. The first step was basic momentum and strong momentum. For strong momentum, I actually missed. You can put a number over here. This is the 1 month RS. So you can put number here, 90. If you're looking beyond 1 month, you can put a quarterly RS also of 90 here. You can use price performance for monthly and quarterly change over here. 3-week high-low range, which I mentioned, can you put here. For pauses, you can use 3-day high-low range here and the distance from 10 EMA. These are the conditions. Last time when I actually scanned, I don't remember whether it was Thursday or Friday. We had 273 stocks that had basic momentum, strong momentum of 30 to 50 stocks, and stocks that were resting were around 8 to 10, depending on whether you use this condition or this condition. So identify momentum setups. What I've done is that you will see that I have added a new page today under trading strategy for momentum trading. Right in the dashboard, you will go here to trading strategies. There's a dedicated page of momentum trading in the dashboard now. I have put this today itself. You can read about it. The same example that I'm showing you on the presentation are also here. The dedicated filters that are required for scanning momentum setups, I have added them here. You can use them to identify momentum, the volume confirmation, stocks resting for a pause, and other ancillary filters like 50-day ADR. To make life even easier, what I've done is that I have made a ready-made filter over here. You can simply click on this and the list will give you all the stocks that are meeting the scan for momentum trading. These are the conditions that I've used for the ready-made filters. So there are around 14 stocks as of now that meet these conditions, which you can consider for momentum trading. Right? So this is in our dashboard now. Yeah. So this was a short presentation that I made. We can go to examples now, or if you have any doubts till here, I'll be happy to address.
Puneet ji,
Yeah.
how this one is different from TTM squeeze?
So TTM squeeze might not happen so early, right? TTM squeeze, when you're looking for TTM squeeze, the pause period will be slightly higher, right? Okay. So there is a sudden good price movement. So understand this, when um, the price is going up, the Bollinger Band, which is one of the conditions of in TDM squeeze, it would have come out of the Keltner channel.
Yes.
Right? It will again take some time to go inside it when the volatility squeezes. So TTM squeeze might not be present in over 90% of these in these stocks.
Okay.
Very rarely you will find a TTM squeeze happening in these momentum stocks. And TTM squeeze mostly what I've seen is that TTM squeeze mostly work when the stock is very close to 50 EMA. So when the stock is coming close to 50 EMA, right, it would have taken a lot of time, and only then the TTM squeeze will develop.
True.
Yeah. We will come to that when we discuss the pullback strategies. So that will be a useful one during when we discuss the second one, the pullbacks. When the time of this pause is pretty much larger than the momentum stocks.
Got it.
Okay. Sorry.
Punit sir, did you find any momentum stocks from that out of?
Falil, I cannot hear you. You have to be a bit louder, please.
Did you find any stocks from that out of 8 to 10 filter stocks.
Yeah, I wanted to show you all the stocks that are there. I wanted to actually show you the charts.
Yeah.
Can you see my trading view window?
Yeah. Yes.
I actually developed a quick um, indicator for this. I mean, I've not shared this. I don't think it's needed, but yeah, just for showing it to you guys, I wanted to present something like this. So, um, so this is GPIL. Here you can see that this yellow line is the basic momentum that I told you about, right? It means only the basic conditions.
Mhm.
This it turns blue when the momentum becomes strong, right? And when it pauses, I just made a similar symbol that we have in our presentation. So it made a pause over here, came to 10 EMA. This is 20 EMA below it. Coincidentally, when it was around 10 EMA, it was near our IV high also, right? Exigo again. This yellow one is the basic momentum. The blue one is when the momentum gets stronger.
Oh no, actually, I'm asking about you said that resting pause in scan.
So the
Basic
current,
moment.
yeah, the current
Yeah.
setups are, you want to discuss the current setups, right?
Okay. No,
Yeah.
did you find any stocks in that setups?
Yeah,
Like
these are the
filters.
stocks. These are the stocks, right?
Okay.
Whether they're tradable, I don't think they are much still because the volatility is pretty high right now,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
But you must have these in the watch list because they might get even tighter here and then give you a move next week, right? I mean, I believe that market is oversold right now. It's reached a kind of oversold situation, and if it goes up and if you want to trade momentum stocks, these are the stocks that you should be keeping in your watch list.
Okay.
Right. So this is one Apollo Microsystem. It was coming a day before. Ether Engineering is another stock. It is now coming to around 20 EMA. It might, so we will not trade them immediately. What we can, ideally do is that wait for some kind of a tightening range and then it breaks out so that we buy over here near its 20 EMA and with a tight stop loss. So these will be short swing term trades. Not ideally for long term until so we can trail it using 10 EMA or 20 EMA, whatever we like. Then this is Evental again, coming in the scans near the IV, right? Look for a tightening range near its 20 EMA and then making it higher highs on 75 minutes or 125 minutes time frame, and then we trade them when it breaks the swing high or the tight range. This is a BSE listed company. This is Asapura, Deepak Builders. So they are all building up. I don't think this is right now tradable. It was now this was tradable until yesterday, right? If this candle had not come, you see this, it was making this tight range. So an ideal entry would have been here with a tight stop loss, either low of the day or the tight range. High tech. Now this was also getting a little tight here. It made a good mm, higher high over here, but again fell down because of the market conditions. This is looking good. Yeah. Yeah.
Pulitji, can you please elaborate more over the entry point because that is something which is confusing me currently. Like in this kind of setup, what should be our entry point?
See, entry point in these setups, I believe, you look for stocks, you find the setups using the daily time frame, right? When you're looking for entries, we will have to shift to the lower time frame also, I prefer lower time frame of 75 minutes and 125 minutes, slightly more than an hour and 2 hours time. Right. When it breaks off the tight range, we look for a pattern. When it breaks out of the tight range over there, then we take an entry. Right. Let's say this is Q power, right? It was making it made a good move over here, right? It made this, it came to 10 EMA. It will make kind of a flags, triangles, pennant, all that stuff, right? I think this is an inside bar. Yeah. This is an inside bar too, mentioned here. You can enable you can enable this thing in from our pro setups indicator. You can enable inside bars and mini coil. You shift to the 125-minute time frame, right? Look for the previous swing high. Take an entry here. The exit can be here or here, somewhere around this level. Right. So we have to shift to the 75-minute or 125-minute time frame. We can see more examples. We will have to shift to the 75-minute or 125-minute time frame when we are trading these setups. Like this. Like right now, there is no setup building over here. Even if we see 125-minute time frame, there will be no setup. It could not break this. It's making a setup here. Let's see if it makes some certain tight range here, our entry can be over this, positive entry over this with a tight stop loss here or the low of the day when it breaks out.
Okay.
Anticipating an entry here, when it is like this, the stop loss can be short if I simply take an entry over here, right? Let's say the stock does not go and it stays like this here, right? If I take an entry here, my stop loss will be very low, but there will be no confirmation here unless it makes, certain tight range like this here itself, and then it breaks out of the tight range and then I take the entry. But right now the range is around this much level, the entire mini coil that you can see. Like, I don't think any setup is building over here right now. There is no tight range. Now, this setup is looking good to me, right? Place an alert over here, or track it on a lower time frame like 125-minute. So entry over here is still quite far according to me, right? It is still around 7% away. If this is the entry. So yeah, wait for it to come to 20 EMA probably, and then let it make a tight range, and then we plan an entry here. Energy, I told you it's coming to 20 EMA, right? Let it make a tight range, and then we plan an entry over here. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in our dashboard, we have this page now. Like I told you, you can either directly use this, or for this particular setup, I have used only the 1 month price change of more than 20%. But if you are looking for a 3-month price change, you can use the same conditions or extra conditions and enter a number here. Let's say I want to look only for stocks that have moved more than 90%, or let's say 100% in the last 1 quarter. These are the stocks. There are only 9 stocks. We can either look all the charts together, or if you want to look for stocks that are close to their 20 or 10 EMA, we can enter numbers here. Resting for a pause. Let's say the stock should not be
नहीं है बाकी दिन में होता है तो बताता हूँ और वो छुट्टी है कितनी अच्छा
let's say the stock should not be more than 3% below, 3% over the 10 EMA. So these are the only names that are coming right now: Cupid and Stallion. Okay. Yeah, so the stocks, now this stock Cupid, based on those conditions, the stock has a good move. It is coming, it is very close to its 10 EMA now. So you can use the filters according to the setups that you want. The up down volume ratio is 1.8 only, right? But yeah, it has had a good move. And Stallion also, Stallion we saw the chart also. Yeah, again. Yeah. So this is also again building up. Yeah. If there are other setups that you want to have, in addition to these, you can always go to the screener page and choose more setups, and all these conditions are present there also.
Pranji, thanks for taking us towards the entry side. If you are riding these stocks, so generally, what would be your recommendation for the exit? Assume that your stock is consistently performing. Like now, Cupid, you said it is almost respecting a 10 moving average throughout that journey, almost like 3 4 months. And should I wait for maybe a 20 moving average falling below that, or what type of things, or it should be absolute terms saying that, okay, if it is falling below, say, 7%, 10%, then I exit. What kind of exit that you generally recommend for momentum or super momentum stocks?
Right. So most of the stocks, there will be only very few stocks that will, be riding 10 EMA for the period that you said, 6 7 months. Right. Most of these setups will, give you short-term swing movements. Right. And if you don't book them, you will be either be exiting at, very little profit in your pocket or at break evens. Right. But most of these setups will be for very short-term period only, so days to a couple of weeks. So what you can do is that you can, like Kwalamagi also suggests, that book, 1/3 or half, within 3 to 5 days, and trail the rest by 10 EMA. Right. So if a stock has moved 10-15% in the first 3 days, maybe book 1/3. Staggered booking of your profitable entries is something which he suggests and something which I agree to. But if you find a stock, something like Cupid, right, which has not breached, sorry, this is Stallion, right? So even Stallion has not breached its 20 EMA except this one day, and then it gave an undercut again the next day, right? So this is something which, if this was a setup that you traded, it came in the momentum setup here. If this was a setup that you actually traded, you could have booked, partially on this candle itself, as you suggested, and trail the rest by 10 EMA. Maybe exit on this day itself. Right, because these are ideally not fundamental based stocks or trades that you are trading. These are purely technical trades where we have large volume interest, large institutional interest, which can be seen through volume, and then we ride that momentum. Idea is technically not to ride throughout the fundamental story, unless you know about it and you believe that I can combine the fundamental story along with this momentum. For fundamental kind of a story, I suggest you follow the rules of trend following. Where you look to look for more when you know the company well. You look for opportunities to enter instead of exit, right? For
Correct.
those kind of trades where you know the story, you look to buy when the stock comes near 20 EMA, and then ride that and ride the entire trend.
Understood. So with that in the view, just a follow up. Can we do a silver and gold in the same chart now?
I don't think you will have 1 second. Like this was the gold ETF, right? I mean, I don't think this will give us a kind of a it will come in the momentum, yeah. So those conditions will have to be changed. Yeah, so this is in strong momentum. To come to Remy, you can do you can use this for trading commodities, but the kind of moves that we get in stocks, right? Those will not be coming over here. I mean, it will regularly breach its 10 EMA. Right now, the momentum is very strong in gold, like you can see, right? So it might this is something like curve fitting. I will only be doing curve fitting here if I say that yes, you can do it in gold, but most of the time it will breach its 10 EMA, come back to it. Yeah, so at some points it has pretty strong momentum.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
silver also will
I
be
do not normally.
identical,
I'm
I
not.
think.
Sorry.
Silver
Sorry.
also, I think, will be identical with the runs that silver had for last 8-9 months.
Yeah. True. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The momentum is building very strong now.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, one stock I want to know that what kind of setup it is. 2 days it is up.
Which one?
RACL. There are few setups I'm not able to identify this kind of setup. How
Right.
we can.
So right now, as you can see, I mean, this is an indicator, not it's not a public, or I'm not shared it with anyone. But right now, you can see the momentum is building up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will go up. You wait for the stock to come back to 10 EMA, and then you trade that momentum setup, right? But if you are tracking it and if you are buying a breakout, it's already a buy right now.
Yeah, actually,
So
there is some setup. Uh, I want to find. I'm identifying the stock which already about 15% up. This kind of scenario. Like there are few examples. I'm not able to track these in the scanner.
which stock like you want to track in the scanner? Like this particular one is not near its 10 EMA, so that's why it will not come to the ready-made scan that I made.
There are few which I'm observing. So RACL one and FCL one. FCL. Yeah.
So see, it will not come because even the 50 EMA is declining. 20 EMA is
Okay.
20 EMA is also declining. So the basic condition is that all these, there has to be basic momentum first. Like I said, all the three EMAs should be in sync. So this is basic momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Right over here, right? Now, next comes the strong momentum. Strong momentum is when the stock is moving so fast that it's, the distance from the 50 EMA is also more than 10%. Then we have the institutional level buying where the up down volume ratio is at least 3x. Those kind of when those kind of conditions comes, only then we can say that it has strong momentum. The another condition was that the last 1 month change should be more than at least 20-25%. Right. So here those conditions are not meeting. That's why the stock is not in strong momentum.
But actually, there is some. What is the green line which is
This green line,
IB? No, no. Here, last one, like in the. Yeah, there.
these green dots,
Yeah, green dots. What
this
is
is
it?
this is TTM squeeze. This is TTM squeeze. This is a kind of a volatility indicator. When the volatility compresses, then you get those green dots. When the Bollinger Band is inside the Keltner channel, we have a detailed data on this. We'll share that.
Yeah. Okay. We have that separate setup for this.
Yeah, this is a different setup altogether.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
So hello, Puneet. Can we go to the setup page? No,
Sorry,
the
this one?
earlier one, setup page.
This one?
Yeah, this one. So once we select this momentum trade setup, so
Mm-hmm.
automatically on the left hand side, all the conditions will become blank, or the conditions which you have selected will reflect.
No, these conditions will not reflect.
Okay, so it can't be done that this condition will reflect here and we can make necessary changes. Is
No,
it
so
possible?
you can make the changes here, but you will not be able to see what numbers I have mentioned here, right? But
Okay.
whatever now the condition that you want to have over and above these stocks, you can do
Mhm.
that. Let's say that you want to now change once you have
So
used this
if I
particular
want to
filter.
change the I can change it from here.
Yeah, now over and above
Mhm.
these filters, you can make the changes here.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And just to ask, like where it is written as a weekly or monthly, so weekly means 5 days and monthly means 21 days.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And Punitji, the market condition also has to be looked into, right, as a factor.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
only we should, okay.
Yes, so even Kolamagi says that, and something which we follow, market bet that he looks for, market when the 10 EMA is over 20 EMA and both the EMAs are rising. So that is a strong market when he prefer using these kind of strategies.
So the what do you call
We follow the same
chances
thing,
of
right?
success? Yeah, the chances of success would be more like market
Yes,
level.
right, right. We follow the same thing. So right now 10 EMA is over 20 EMA, right? But if you see the chart, 10 EMA, it might be coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pretty bad situation right now. So this is 20 EMA.
50 has just turned.
Yeah, 50 is just see the swings are so wild that
Exactly.
it has not even reached its previous high low, just near it. We cannot right now we cannot say that it's actually made its lower low or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very close to it, few points away only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Any doubts on the dashboard or on the strategy? See, that strategy is such that there is no right number. If I say that you should be using only at least 25% in the change in the last 1 month, uh, you might get a lot of stocks and then you might want to increase it. RS of 90, instead of RS of 90, you can use RS of 85 also. So there is no right or wrong number whether you want to look for percentage changes or the RS. The thing is that it should be high. There should be absolute performance also plus relative price performance, relative performance of the stock also. You know, the idea is that we can change according to the market conditions also, plus not be stubborn or fixed that this is the exact thing that I should be using all the time. Well, in one of the cases like I think Ixigo was telling the up down volume ratio was 2.55x. In the previous example that I showed you, the up down volume ratio was 3x, at least 3x. They were in fact more than 5x and 7x also. But in that particular example of 2.5x up down volume ratio, there was a big 3 month move of 100% change in the price, right? So mix and match of those conditions have to be there.
Yes.
Okay,
Quickly,
Puneet.
Prince, I
Okay.
just sorry, Sajesh. Please go on.
पुनीत मैं ये कह रहा था कि मिनिमम वैल्यू क्या कंसिडर करना चाहिए यूडी रेशियो के लिए फॉर मोमेंटम
भाई मैं अभी कह रहा था कि मिनिमम आप 3x रख सकते हो, राइट। मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस में आपके अप डाउन वॉल्यूम रेशियो, क्योंकि स्ट्रॉन्ग मूव आया है लास्ट 21 डेज, अगर आप मंथली देख रहे हैं तो, राइट।
Okay.
अगर आप मंथली देख रहे हैं तो अप डाउन वॉल्यूम रेशियो will in most of the cases will be more than 3 or 4x also. It can be high,
Okay.
it can be, in almost all the cases it can be high as 5x also, right? But जब आप इंस्टेड ऑफ 1 मंथ आप 3 मंथ्स का या फिर 6 मंथ्स का मूव देख रहे हो, तो आपको अप डाउन वॉल्यूम रेशियो में थोड़ा कम करना पड़ेगा आपको।
ओके, और टर्नओवर जैसे सपोज कोई स्कैन शुरू कर रहे हैं तो एक मिनिमम वैल्यू से शुरू करेंगे कि हाँ इट शुड बी लाइक।
The turnover depends on your position size. Like ideally,
ओके.
if the average turnover is more than 20 times of your position size, that you will not face liquidity issues,
ओके.
right? But if the turnover, अगर किसी ने 1 करोड़ का ट्रेड लेना है और टर्नओवर ही अगर 5 करोड़ का है, तो पूरा मार्केट, पूरा स्टॉक खुद ही हिला देगा,
हाँ.
राइट। बट तो इसलिए टर्नओवर देखा जाता है कि आपका पोजिशन साइज क्या है, राइट।
ऐसा होता है क्या कि सपोज कोई स्टॉक अगर मोमेंटम में है तो उसका जो टर्नओवर है वो भी एवरेज टर्नओवर वो बढ़ जाए?
टर्नओवर बढ़ जाएगा, बट हम लास्ट 50 डेज का टर्नओवर हमने डैशबोर्ड में रखा है, विच इंक्लूड्स मोर देन 2 मंथ्स, राइट। अगर 1 मंथ
ओके.
का आप चेंज देख रहे हैं तो यू आर ओनली लुकिंग फॉर 21 लास्ट 21 डेज चेंज, राइट। बट 50 डे अगर हम एवरेज टर्नओवर देख रहे हैं तो उस केस में आपका टर्नओवर उस पीरियड से ज़्यादा का हमने यूज़ किया हुआ है।
ओके.
तो उसमें वो पीरियड भी है जब जो स्ट्रॉन्ग अपमूव आया है वो नहीं था।
ओके, ठीक है. और आईवी डेज जो है उसको कितना मिनिमम सेट कर सकते हैं? जैसे 0 to 40 है उसमें फिल्टर में.
हाँ नहीं, अभी तो हमने कोई आईवी फिल्टर हम यूज़ ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि वॉल्यूम ऑलरेडी इतना स्ट्रांग है इसमें कि आईवी के ऊपर ही होगा स्टॉक।
नहीं, सपोज स्कैन करने में अगर हम आईवी फिल्टर यूज करते हैं
हाँ,
तो जो नंबर ऑफ डेज है उसको कितना कम कर सकते हैं? सपोज 40 है उसको 21, 10.
मेरे ख्याल से आपको इसमें आईवी वाला फिल्टर यूज करिए ही मत
ओके.
करिए। सिर्फ चार्ट्स में देखिए
ओके.
कि क्या वो स्टॉक जब पॉज ले रहा है, क्या वो आईवी डे के आसपास है या नहीं है। क्योंकि अगर वो तब
ओके.
आईवी डे के आसपास है, आईवी हाई के आसपास है, देन योर सेटअप बिकम स्ट्रॉन्गर।
फॉर एंट्री.
यस,
ओके.
आई थिंक जीपीआईएल में वैसे ही था, राइट। जो फर्स्ट आईवी जैसे यहाँ पे आया था, इसमें तो आईवी के बाद वो रुका ही नहीं,
हम्म.
राइट। बट जो सेकंड आईवी आया था वहां पे पॉज लिया उसने, और फिर देन इट स्टार्टेड मूविंग।
ओके.
Sir, one last question. So that TTM scan we can do that, right? It is highlighted in the blue dot.
Sorry, you want me to run the TTM scan for you?
Yeah. Because
Yep.
which I shown that. Yeah.
Naji, maybe we can keep the TTM scan when we discuss the pullback strategies,
Sure.
separately.
Sure.
When we discuss these pullback strategies, the second one, here I will be able to explain the TTM squeeze setups in detail, which I use for swing trading. Plus, it can be used for your position trades also.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Fine.
Sir, will you please let me know the default conditions in the settings with regard to these two indicators which we have been using? So, because sometimes I am not in a position to see the IV indicator. Is something wrong in the default setup to see the IV indicator?
If you are not able to see the default these IV lines by default, maybe the first thing that you should do is remove the indicator and put it back again from the invite only scripts.
Okay.
Right. Once you do that, I have not done any change in the settings for myself.
Okay.
Right. For this momentum thing, I have only disabled the moving average clouds. Otherwise, the clouds will appear something like this on your chart.
Okay.
Right. Other than this, everything is same. There is no change here. Yeah, everything is same. The IV lines that you are not able to see, the basic, the default numbers that we have entered here is 90, the look back period of 90 days, and that remains same. Yes, please. Somebody raise the hand. I'm not monitoring chat if you guys have written anything in the chat. Okay, nothing there. Yes, please. Yeah, please unmute yourself. You raise the hand. Okay. Any other doubts?
Puniji, I think the one indicator that which you're currently sharing in the screen, is it still a private indicator? It's still not been public, the momentum, yeah?
Yeah, I have not actually published this. I just wanted to, I just used it to show or to explain things, explain the momentum things here.
Okay.
I've not actually published it. I don't think it will be useful. Right? We already have 10 EMA and 20 EMA. These are just, signs that I wanted to, show you visually. When the momentum develops, like this is when the basic momentum is building up, and this is the strong momentum. And this is the setup when the stock comes near its 10 EMA. That's it.
Understood.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then. I think we don't have any other questions here, so we'll stop it here.
Sure, Bunyan ji. Thank you so much. Good day, all.
Thank you, Puniji.